Hello, hello, awesome humans. I decided to hop on and record this episode unprompted. Well, actually, it was prompted by something I'm going to tell you about. And then I realized that I do that for most of the episodes these days, unless I have a guest. And then, of course, I plan and I research, and that's in advance. But I've gotten to a place where I realize the greatest gift that I can offer you on this podcast is to share what is most resonant for me, what I'm learning or experiencing. And so I've been recording a lot of these solo episodes where something strikes me or something happens and I just hop on and record it. And I'd love your thoughts and feedback, how this is resonating, what topics you're loving, what other topics you want me to address. Shoot me an email, Natalie, Natalie@happier.com. I love hearing from the awesome humans who listen to this podcast. All right, here is what I want to talk about, and I'll tell you why. I want to talk about what is the version of the wisdom teeth in your life. Okay, here's what prompted me to do this. So my daughter Mia, and if you've been listening for a while and following my work for a while, you probably know Mia because she's a huge part of my life, obviously, but also a huge inspiration for a lot of what I learn and share. So on Monday, Mia got her wisdom teeth out. She's 21. I think I was around 20 or 21 when I had it done. And I think probably a lot of you as well. They were impacted. So it was a surgery kind of thing. And she's doing okay. She's over the hump now. I'm recording this on Thursday. It's been 3.5 days. It was rough. It was a rough couple of days. It's not fun. But I could make her lots of soup and mashed things and mashed fruit and mashed potatoes. I become a really good masher. And we were hanging out yesterday. And I guess I never learned this or questioned this. I was like, wait, I was looking at her x-rays actually, at these like 4 teeth that were growing in sideways, really not useful and causing future issues and pain. And I was like, wait, why do we have this thing in our body? What is the biology on that? What's the evolutionary biology on why do we have these teeth that not only do we not use, but they cause issues? Mia was trying to explain it to me, but she couldn't really talk very well. So we went researching this a little bit, and you might know this, but if not, this was super interesting for me to learn. We used to have wider mouths because we used to chew a lot more before we had fire. We ate a lot of raw food. So we had wider mouths because actually a bigger part of our brain was dedicated to chewing. We spent a lot of our lives chewing. So we had wider mouths and we had more teeth, including what we call wisdom teeth that come in last. And as we learned to make fire and learn how to cook, we actually chew a lot less because when you cook food, you don't have to chew it as much. And so our mouths have gotten narrower, but the wisdom teeth are still there. Like they haven't yet gone away. And so we still have these things that used to be very useful and necessary, but are now not just no longer serving us, but are causing issues. And as Mia and I were reading this and I was going down this rabbit hole, I was like, whoa, hold on. I got to make a podcast episode about this. I got to write about this because this is our limiting beliefs, right? This is the parallel because here is the thing about limiting beliefs. So what's a limiting belief? A limiting belief is any belief that is blocking you, preventing you from feeling good, from doing what you want, from reinventing in a way that you want, from growing in a way that you want. And so these limiting beliefs, the thing about them is they actually were useful at some point in our lives, just like the wisdom teeth used to be useful when we used to chew a lot more. And so that's one of the core kind of understandings that I always want to get to with people that I mentor. Or when I talk about this in my keynotes, limiting beliefs are not helpful and they block us, but they're not there by accident, right? Let's take an example. And I want you to actually pause as you're listening to me. I want you to think about what are some beliefs in your life that block you, that prevent you from moving forward, from feeling good, from doing things that you want. Just reflect on that for a moment. And I'm going to pick one. I want to pick a random, but a common one. Okay. For example, one of my clients that I work with, actually several of my clients that I work with one-on-one, we've uncovered this belief that they have to be responsible for everybody else. And what it's causing in their life is exhaustion, resentment, because they're over efforting and overdoing and not doing a lot of things that they want because they feel like they need to be responsible for everybody else. So this belief that I am responsible for everybody else. I have to take care of everybody else before myself is a limiting belief. It is preventing them from feeling good, from doing a lot of what they want. And so when we think back, it turns out that that belief was useful at some point. What do I mean by that? Most of our beliefs are formed by the time we're 6, many of them by the time we're 3. They're formed in our childhood, and they're formed at a time where the only part of our brain that's really developed is, the amygdala, the reptile part of the brain. This is the part we develop first. And that part it's all about safety. It's just that part just wants us to be safe and not dead, right? We don't yet have, at that age, we don't have our frontal cortex, the executive function, the rational ability to think things through. So a lot of our beliefs are formed in childhood as almost like a reaction. So for example, someone who, so one of my clients is an oldest sibling. And when she was younger, when it was expected in her family that she would take care of the others. And so when she did that, she probably felt good. Her parents praised her. And so at that time, that belief that I got to take care of others first, it was useful because it kept her safe, right? It ensured that she got accolades from her parents. And this isn't about blaming anyone. It's just her little self that created this belief. Oh, when I take care of my siblings, my parents say nice things. So I'm a good person if I take care of others. When I take care of others, my parents say nice things. They love me. I belong. I am safe, right? There's no rational thought that can say, wait, hold on. Your parents love you even if you don't take care of your siblings. Your parents love you. They just think it's really nice that you help with the siblings. But at 3 years old, at 6 years old, we can't do that. So that belief is created, right? That I have to take care of other people first to stay safe. And then that belief just stays on, right? And many of these beliefs, just like the wisdom teeth for my daughter and for all of us that had them, they're invisible. They're under the surface. We don't know them, but they're there. And then that's the work, right? Is to uncover what are those hidden beliefs? What are those limiting beliefs? Just what are those wisdom teeth underneath the surface that might be pressuring your other teeth, causing pain, causing issues? What are they? Think about when they might have been useful, again, without judgment for anyone, your parents, your family, yourself. Just understand they came up as a way to keep you safe at the time. That's what you thought you needed. And then to recognize when they're no longer serving you, when you no longer need to stay aligned with this belief in order to feel safe, right? So to use the same example with my clients that I mentioned and again, I see this, to be honest with you, this is a limiting belief that I had to work through, that I am responsible for everybody else and it's selfish to do things for myself. So I had to go to the anchor of it, to the origin of it, and then realize it's been driving a lot of my actions and causing a lot of resentment in me because I've been taking care of people, but I was actually resentful because I wasn't doing things I wanted. And so uncovering that belief and recognizing, well, it was useful at some point, but it is no longer useful to me. It's actually damaging, just like the wisdom teeth that are impacted and pushing sideways. And then having the courage to do the hard thing, just like getting your wisdom teeth is painful. Like Mia, it's been 4 days. She's still with ice. She's still eating only mushy foods. It's really uncomfortable. But it's going to free her from potential future pain and issues. The same thing, once you can really clearly see your beliefs that are holding you back, and without any judgment, understand when they might have kept you safe, and then recognize which ones are no longer serving you and might actually be damaging your ability to live the life that you really want. And then having the courage to work through them, to move through them, to loosen and break through the assumptions they are based on. For example, I am a good person if I take care of everybody else first. That's an assumption, right? To break through these faulty assumptions using the frontal cortex, the rational thinking, the ability to analyze things that we now have as adults. That's the hard part. That's the hard work. That's the work I spend most of my life, most of my work doing with people that I work with and my groups and one-on-one. and with myself, by the way, but that's the work. And it's painful because we have to learn, we have to almost teach our younger self that we're now safe without that belief. And that's hard. And there's no hack. There's no immediate way to do it. It's a process. It's helpful to have someone guide you. It's helpful to have someone help you through it, but it's a process. But just like getting those impacted wisdom teeth out, once you have the courage to go through it, you have so much more freedom. You have so much more pain that you can let go of, limitations that you can let go of. You can actually feel good. You can make choices from a place of, this is what I want now. This is what feels good now, versus I'm making this choice because it aligns with this limiting belief that I'm carrying. So I wanted to share this with you because as soon as I understood that we used to have these wisdom teeth used to be useful when we chewed a lot and had bigger mouths, and they're not useful anymore, actually cause a lot of people issues, I was like, hold on, this is limiting belief. So something for you to think about. And again, my action item for you, my homework, because I love to give homework, because it's nice enough. It's good to learn about these things, but unless you do the work, nothing shifts, right? You can listen to a lot of great podcasts. You can listen to me. I hope you like listening to this podcast. You can read lots of books, but until you actually do this work, the limiting beliefs are still there. So my action homework for you is to journal about what are some of the limiting beliefs that you're carrying, and then really reflect on, again, without judgment, how might those beliefs, how might they have kept you safe when you were younger? And by safe, like you thought you had to do that so your parents would love you, or you thought you had to do that so you could belong. And really then kind of move forward and reflect on, do you need that belief to keep you safe now? Use your frontal cortex, use your thought. Like, do you need that belief to keep you safe? Most of the time, no. And what is a more productive, constructive belief that you can shift into, again, over time? It's not going to be some hack that actually allows you to feel good, to live the life you want to live, to do things that are meaningful to you. So that's your action homework. And I also want to tell you about two offerings I want to invite you to that I'm going to be hosting later this summer to help you do this. So the first is a 2-hour masterclass I'm going to be hosting on July 23rd. It's called From Stuck to Sparked, From Stuck to Sparked. It's a 2-hour masterclass where I'm going to help you uncover 5 really common, kind of sneaky, limiting beliefs that keep you stuck, not doing what you want, not growing the way you want to. And then we're going to use the Reinventable Mindset Toolkit to help you shift through them and break through them. And I'm actually going to take you through this one really powerful exercise. We're going to pick a belief to help you reframe it. So it's going to be a really powerful experience to help you get unstuck, but by really getting clear and bringing to the surface some of these hidden beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Because unless we do that, we cannot make forward momentum. And then we're going to shift through a bunch of them using the mindset. So that's July 3rd. To get all the details, make sure you're on my email list, and you can subscribe by going to nataliekogan.com and just subscribe to my emails. And the second is in early August, I'm hosting this really cool Unleash What's Next virtual retreat. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday in early August. And we're going to actually go from not just acknowledging the limiting beliefs and breaking through one, but we're actually you're going to walk away actually creating a vision for the future self you really want to be, for the next chapter you want to have. We're going to work through some of the fears and the doubts and the stories that are blocking you from doing it. And then you're going to create this 30-day momentum map, this favorite tool that I have to actually help guide you post-retreat to actually start action to creating that next chapter. So that's going to be in early August. Again, the masterclass From Stuck to Sparked, which is all about uncovering limiting beliefs, July 23rd. The Unleash What's Next virtual retreat, early August. To get details on both, you can shoot me an email to natalie@happier.com, or make sure you're on my email list. I will always send invitations to my list first. And with that, as always, awesome humans, thank you for making me part of your life, for being open to hear something new, for being open to being challenged, for doing this for yourself. Don't forget your action homework. And that's all I have for today. And I will be, as I like to say, on your screen if you're watching on YouTube, and in your ear if you're listening again next week. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your week. Awesome humans.